Well, hello. Welcome to this episode of the Sanibel Captiva Guide podcast. I want to welcome our good friend, Richard McCurry.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in. Much appreciated.
Thanks for having me.
Richard's a bit of an island legend. We've lived here for 20 odd years and we've known each other pretty much since we first moved to the island or in the area. We've got kids similar ages. You had kids that went to Sanibel school, as did we. And the
daycare, starting back from the daycare times,
and actually was our first bank contact, because we used to bank with Bank of the Islands back in when we at my very first account. When I moved from England, I had to lend the bank $500, get a credit card for $500 to build my credit. Yeah, and
secure it in.
Yeah, secure it in. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you end up on Sanibel, Richard?
And how long have you been here?
Well, they have my aunt and uncle, Preston Woodring and Sally Woodring, lived here on the island.
Okay, that name sounds familiar.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, they came to North Carolina to visit us in 1976, and it just happened to be right when school got out, so they brought my brother and I back with them.
Nice.
So when we got done with school in 1979, after spending a great summer here, we moved here.
Wow.
Actually, my brother moved here, and then I came to visit him around Thanksgiving time. I'm still visiting.
Right. That's a long vacation.
Yeah. So 79, I came here, and it's because of Sally Preston Woodring.
Okay. And now, so explain the Woodrings. What's the connection? What's the history of the Woodrings?
The Woodrings, as you know, were some of the original settlers on the island.
Right.
In fact, they were living at Cape Costa and Sanibel way back in the early years, and the government came in and said, look, you can pick one spot, one or the other, pick one. So they picked Sanibel.
Good choice.
And the government said, okay, you're here. So they kind of squatted in the real early days.
Right.
And then they took over Cape Costa. So, but at any rate, then Esperanza had kids. One of them was Preston, and another one was Ralph, who had the bait box for years.
Right.
My aunt somehow met Preston, and they got married, and that's how she came here, and then that's how we ended up.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Esperanza is a total legend. She was a fishing guy. She married into the Woodring family, and then her husband died.
Right.
And she carried on the fishing business.
When I met her, she was still taking people out shelling and guiding and fishing.
Really? And there's even been...
A woman could throw a mean cast net.
That's what I've heard. There's actually photographs of her throwing her cast net.
There is, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
And there's actually places on the island, Woodring Point, named after that family, so a very historical family on the island.
It's where their house was and still remains to this day.
Exactly,
on the Woodring Point.
And Ralph's still down there.
Right, yeah.
He's the last one left.
Still being ornery, we heard.
Yeah, Ralph is Ralph.
So cool. You came to the island, and when we knew you were a bank manager and you were heavily you worked for the bank, and then you were heavily involved in the restaurant industry, and it seemed to work every hour that God sends.
Yeah.
And then that took you on to fast forward many years later. You might recognise the T-shirt, but the Sanibel Cafe is your own baby, as it were. That's the one. And I was in there for breakfast the other morning. Fantastic breakfast. So make sure you go in there. They got a great menu and all sorts of artifacts on the tables. A really cool place.
Tell us what's the location of your restaurant. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's at Tahitian Gardens, which is mid-island. It's like the opposite end of Cheeseburger. It's right next to the Paper Fig. And we do breakfast and lunch 7 to 2 all day, same menu. You can have breakfast or lunch. If it's on the menu, you can have it.
Got it.
Superb.
In fact, people make up stuff all the time that's not on the menu, and we'll make it work if we can.
Nice.
So we try to accommodate everybody. It's American cuisine, breakfast and lunch, sandwiches, breakfast quesadillas. Rusty Pelican is our number one seller.
And tell us what's the Rusty Pelican?
Well, the Rusty Pelican is we take a croissant, a nice buttered croissant, and we toast it, we put some raspberry jelly on it that we make ourselves from scratch, and then we put some coleslaw, which we make from scratch ourselves, and then turkey and Havarti cheese and bake, and then put it together, and that's your sandwich.
Okay.
The Rusty Pelican.
I'm hungry.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds really
get the
good.
baked beans with it.
Oh,
That sounds.
That's the nugget.
amazing.
I've never had it.
Oh, you
never
gotta
had it.
try it.
We got to try it.
So, did you start the Sanibel Cafe, or was that an existing?
No, it was existing. Funny story around that. My good friend Ken Lowett, who you guys probably knew through the theater, he and I have been best friends for 40 plus years, and we always had second jobs in restaurants, and thought, boy, we could be good owners someday. He called one day and he goes, we should buy a restaurant. I'm like, are you crazy?
Are you crazy?
Who would do that?
Right.
I had a great job at a bank. You're running a theater at Wellesley College. You're a professor. Why would you do that? He's like, oh, it'd be great. So he talked me into it, and so we started kind of looking, but not really. Ken that owned the Sanibel Cafe, his name was Ken, and her name was Lynda. He came into the bank one day, and he said, I need to get rid of the restaurant. I'm tired of it. Find me somebody to buy it. I'm like, I happen to know somebody.
Really?
So
Wow,
it just worked out. So it was meant to be. So
Yeah.
Ken and I put our money together and bought the restaurant.
And what year was that?
2006.
Okay. And do you know how long did the previous Ken and Lynda have it?
They had it from 84 to 2006.
Okay.
Wow.
So then I've had it like 16 years.
Yeah.
So then Ken and I bought it, and he eventually retired. I retired a couple years later from the bank and went there. I had 29 years at the bank. Kenny had 20-some years at Wellesley College. And then we both retired and were
Really retired?
And well, yeah. It's a hobby, it's a passion, so it's not like it's a job.
Right.
But then now he's traveling, so
What about you? Any traveling?
not a lot.
Yeah. I guess you're on permanent vacation here.
Where would you go?
Exactly. There's no reason to leave. That's awesome.
So your kids have come through it, worked occasionally here and there during the years?
Oh, yeah, they've all worked in through there from at different times.
Yeah.
And each one of them can step back in any minute and do whatever needs to be done. They've been great. But, yeah, all three of them have been in. They've worked at various different positions. And
So if you open at 7, what time do you actually get there? Are you an early bird?
Well, actually, my staff takes care of it.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you can sleep in a bit.
Up a little late now, but I used to be in there like from 6 till 10 or 11 at night because we used to do dinners.
Oh, gotcha.
So, but we kind of got that refined around, and the staff's got it all dialed in, and they come in and open up. So I'm usually in there by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Perfect.
I'll drop the grandson at school a lot of days and then just go right in.
Nice.
That's great.
And tell everybody about your interesting tables, because everybody loves your tables.
Oh, I read about those.
Stevens, a lady that used to live here on the island, and was involved heavily with the Sanibel Shell Club. Went and found all those shells, personally hand-picked them out from the shell pits up in Sarasota, which are now closed to the public, but they used to be open.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
So, and she designed each table with different designs. So each piece is a masterpiece of artwork.
Yeah.
So she designed them, and then she laid the shells in and put them in place and glued them. And now they're all shadow boxed, and when you come in and eat, you're eating on
a shadow box of shell.
top table has her artwork underneath it.
Oh,
yeah, that's so cool.
Fascinating.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
A lot of people come in, they're like, they bring other people, and they're like, we just had to bring them and show them the shells. I said, okay. Well, sure.
Just eat a Rusty Pelican while you're here.
So have you had any famous patrons? Anybody famous coming in?
Well, Willard Scott used to come in a lot.
The weatherman from the Today Show. Yeah. He used to have a house on Captiva, I think, or Sanibel.
Yeah, he's had a couple houses. But one of them was on Captiva. He's had a couple on Sanibel.
Yeah.
been back and forth. Will Ferrell was in one time.
Was he funny? Did you?
Kenny talked, and my partner talked. I didn't even realize he was there. I may not even have been there. I think I heard about it after the fact, but he told me that he was there. And we had a lady from Saturday Night Live. I forget what her name was. But usually, I mean, if people come in that are famous, they usually try to give them their space.
Yeah.
Because they're on vacation, too. They want to come and relax and unwind.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
So, I remember when the lady came in from Saturday Night Live, somebody pointed her out to me, and they wanted to go over and, abduct her, basically. I'm like, no, please give her privacy.
Yeah.
Just let her be. If she wants everybody to know who she is, she'll stand up and announce it,
Right.
So the person respected that.
And that's good.
They did. When people come in, I want them to be able to come in and feel comfortable like they're at home when they're at the cafe.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how's the island changed over the years. So what year you got here in '76? Is that what you said?
Well, I came here for the summer of '76, the bicentennial year. It was great. And then moved back in '79.
And how old were you then? Not to date you, sorry, but just to give a context.
Now. I came here when I was 18.
18, really?
So, there's a lot more houses now. Shopping centers, condos. You used to go out West Gulf Drive and they were like single-story cottage style.
Right, not these big monstrosities now.
Yeah. Most of the roads were shell roads, so it was just kind of cool. It was like going back in time.
Yeah. There were shell roads there?
Most of the roads were.
Really?
Wow.
If you went up Periwinkle, most of the roads were shell back then.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So
and
you were talking about
18.
potholes and water. Even when it rained a little bit, Periwinkle was washed out.
Oh, really?
So it took years to, raise it, elevate it, a little bit at a time. A lot of money, I'm sure. But so that doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, you used to go down, you'd hydroplane right on
Sounds like
Periwinkle.
fun. And at 18, what? Was there not much nightlife going on, I guess? What were you up to?
There was a couple of bars that were open.
What were they called? Do you remember the names?
There was like the Chez Rondelet, which is where Cheeseburger is now.
Okay.
It was called a bunch of different things.
Right.
What, Tahitian Gardens was there then?
Yeah.
It was?
Not in 79. Well, yeah, maybe they were in 79. 80, yeah, they were there.
I can tell you the answer to that, but it's a trivia question.
It's a trivia question. All right. So there were bars.
So there's a place there. There was a Scotty's pub was there, which is where the Jack is now.
Okay.
And Tim had a game room in there, so there was like foosball and pinball and stuff like that. So there's a couple places to go. There was
hang out.
Pate's was where what became McTee's, which is now the Fish House.
Right.
That was a little party spot. Sundial was a little party spot for a while. And when Will's Landing came in, it was a huge party spot.
So you knew where all the parties were, I guess.
Parties, and then you could go to town, but there was always a long trip back.
Yeah.
Right. And were you into fishing or shelling?
I've done some fishing, and
anything?
I was never really big into shelling.
Right.
Done a little bit of fishing with my friend Ken, but mostly I worked. I was at the bank or working restaurants. I had a family, the kids and whatnot. So we'd go to cheerleading events and
all the
gymnastics and stuff like that.
With the three girls, you ended up with no boys.
No.
But saying that,
got a grandson now, though.
Right?
So there's
Congratulations.
the boy. Exactly. But saying that, tell everybody what your girls are up to now, because they are some powerful women now.
Yes, indeed they are. Kelly's a police officer for the city of Fort Myers. So we pray about her every night. She works the late shift. She goes in like 4 to 4, so she's out all night.
Oh, wow.
Man.
And then Kayla's working for real estate and vacation rentals.
Right.
And then Katie's a paramedic, and she's a member of the USAR team. And also, she just finished up
she?
with boot camp, so she's in the reserves for the Army.
Yeah.
So they're
top
very
women. They're doing well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Doing very well. You must be very proud of them.
Independent thinkers.
Yeah.
And they're
a lot of fun.
kicking
Great
it
girls.
up.
Yeah.
Great girls.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome,
a lot
awesome.
of fun.
Yeah. Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about, so your main, I mean, so you're telling us you didn't have much time to enjoy the islands, like different sides of the island. You were working so much. I can actually vouch for that, because when he finished at the bank, he'd start his restaurant job, and you were working a hell of a lot.
Yeah,
so
I worked at a lot of different restaurants. Yeah.
So now you've got the restaurant. You've just got the one without the bank job. This must be probably the least you've worked in. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's still a business, but
no, it is. I've always worked, and now there's like a little not work time.
Well, now you got the grandson now.
That's right.
I'll keep you busy.
Yep. So it's nice. I mean, we live out by the beach, so we get out and take walks on the beach and stuff like that, and just kind of hang out and enjoy stuff and take a deep breath and
decompress. It's good for that, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So, Max, what you got for us? You got anything for us?
I think yes. Let me see if I can get that up. So I've written some trivia questions.
Did you know about the trivia, Richard?
I'm learning as
now.
we go. It's not on the teleprompter. Wait,
No,
there's not a teleprompter.
No. This is all in the brain, hopefully.
So while Max is getting that ready, so any interesting while Max is getting that ready, any interesting stories from back in the day, anything that you saw growing up, or anything that a Sanibel history that you found fascinating while you were growing up?
Well, I remember the island was incorporated in 1974.
Yeah.
And all those guys that made that happen used to hang out at Uncle Preston's house. So they'd come over. I think it was on Wednesday night, and they'd have a little poker game and hang out and just talk about things. So it was interesting to hear that.
So you were the fly in the wall.
Yeah, right. And I was a little kid to them. I mean, 18, but I was still young. But I thought it was interesting because there's all these big, powerful guys that are playing poker, not drinking alcohol, not smoking cigars, and not gambling. But they were using seashells for money instead of money. I'm like, wow, that's great. Just go out in the driveway and pick up a handful. You're good to go.
And these guys were instrumental in putting the island together?
I'm sorry?
These guys were instrumental in putting the island together, incorporating the island?
Yeah, there was a recent article, actually, about how the CIA put this town together.
I read that.
We read that. So what was your version?
It was those guys that were hanging out at the house with Uncle Woody Preston.
Okay. So Richard's been saying this for a long time on deaf ears, and now there's stories that are coming out that this is somewhat...
I've told the story a couple times, and people are looking at me like, you're crazy, and then all of a sudden it, shows up in print. I'm like, see, I'm not crazy.
What is the story? What is the story?
So basically, there was a lot of CIA guys down here. Well, you tell it, Richard. I'm only telling what you're retelling what you told me.
Well, there were a bunch of people that were involved in the CIA that came here and retired, and they kind of got tired of being retired, and now they liked doing what they did, so they just kind of got back and did what they did, and they formed the government here, the city, the town. I mean, they really did it to protect the island. It wasn't because they were bored and didn't have anything to do, but what they saw was a potential to have like a lot of high rises, and
that's what Lee County had planned for Sanibel before, where like 90,000 population and the high rises.
Huge,
right, exactly. So these guys got together.
They wanted to put the brakes on it and actually preserve the island.
Wow.
So
because they wanted to come here and enjoy it, and they liked the wildlife, and they liked having a natural habitat and land here, and thought it would be nice to not have a 30-story high rise, and you could be able to look out and see the trees and the ocean and the sky.
So the fact that they were CIA was incidental.
It just happened to be that they were the right group of guys to make it happen. It had nothing to do with the CIA.
Right.
It was just that they were CIA guys that retired here, and that's kind of what they did in other parts of the world when things changed, is they help people, start their own government.
So thanks to them, we have the beautiful paradise that we have today, Sanibel.
I may have missed it. How were you related to Preston Woodring?
My aunt married him, so he was an uncle.
Okay, so your mom's sister?
My dad's sister.
Your dad's sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad's sister.
So
I'm not a blood relative.
Right. Gotcha.
Were they fishing? Did they do fish for a living?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, Uncle Preston worked for IWA.
Oh, the
he
Island
retired
Water?
from there twice.
Really?
But he was a good fisherman, too. He could throw a net. He could fish. He was good. Had boats and...
Right.
Island Water Association, yeah. So.
Right.
All right, Max, you ready for us?
I think so.
All right,
hit us
Richard,
up.
here we go.
Uh-oh.
All right, so here we go. Some Sanibel Cafe trivia.
Oh, God. How fair is that?
Come on now. Come on.
We'll see.
Did you pay him in seashells?
The Sanibel Cafe opened as the Pancake and Omelet House originally. In what year?
I believe 1972.
No.
Write it down.
Was it 72? Okay.
I thought you were asking. We don't say that?
No, write it down.
See, I don't know how this works. I think it was okay.
All right, I'm changing mine now. 1972?
1972?
Oh, wow. You're all wrong.
Richard.
It is 1978.
Oh.
Yeah. And then 6 years later, in 1984, it became the Sanibel Cafe.
Which you did say that. Oh,
but
you said 84.
Pancake House, right.
Pancake and Omelet House.
Right.
Okay, got it. All right, we got that.
All right.
That's locked in now.
If Pancake and Omelet House opened in 1978, in which year did Tahitian Gardens open?
Okay.
All right. So we were talking about this too.
Yeah, I got it.
I actually called the property manager. What was her name, Richard?
Lisa.
I called her to find out what year it happened.
But
When it
she's
opened.
been there since that time?
They took over in 2005, I think.
Oh.
But she was able to look it up for me.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
She was very curious as to why I was asking what about the Tahitian Gardens.
Right. Don't shout out your answer, Richard.
No.
Okay.
All right, Richard.
Covered in it.
Yeah, tell it. Go ahead.
What you have now? Now
You
you
want me to
can
whisper?
say.
Now you can
can
say.
1978.
I put 1976.
I put 1978 too.
It's 1975.
Which means
Yep.
1 point for me.
No, that's a year off. A year's a long time.
No.
You're the closest.
It's
You're the
not to be wrong.
closest. You're the closest.
Come on.
Sure.
1-1.
She always
So
throws her into our
1975,
favour.
Tahitian was open.
Okay.
And what did you say it was in there that was the little party spot? Where the cheeseburger is
There was a place called Chez Rondelay. There was called a lot of
Chez
different
Rondelay?
things. There was
What kind of weird name is that? What does that mean?
They don't know. But there were several different things in there.
Chez Lingerie?
I can't remember.
Not
them all
Chez
either.
Lingerie.
Not Chez Lingerie.
Chez, what was it? Chez Rondel?
I can't even say it anymore. Chez Lingerie. I can't even.
Rondelay. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It sounds like
Maybe
somebody.
somebody named Rhonda.
Sharon Delay. Is it somebody's like? Sounds like a combination of a family of names.
Maybe.
Families' names. I don't know.
Sharon, Rhonda, and
Sharon Dale.
Larry.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
I remember Larry. Great guy. He moved to Alaska.
How do you spell Chez Rondel?
All right, now
I
let's
know.
get off Chez Lingerie. I can't even say it either.
Well, nobody knows what it really is, so that's all right.
All right.
All right. Tahitian Gardens is home to a few other restaurants other than Sanibel Cafe. How many restaurants are there other than the Sanibel Cafe?
Okay. I think. Richard's thinking.
No, I know.
Oh, you know. I was going to say, you better
I
know.
I got
All
it.
right, Nick, what
All
do
right,
you
go
think?
ahead, Dad. You're the one I was trying to trick here.
It's two the paper fig and the cheeseburger.
Mom?
I put 2 as well.
Two. Okay.
Right,
I
yeah.
thought I was going to get someone with that. I thought it was somebody who was going to overthink it. But yeah, there's 3 total restaurants
Right.
there.
Sanibel Cafe, Paper Fig, and Cheeseburger.
All right. By default,
So if
Mom
anybody doesn't
wins.
know, the Tahitian Gardens is about midway up the Periwinkle Way on the left-hand side as you're heading towards Captiva.
And besides the 3 restaurants, there's lots of cute shops and
Josh from Adventures in Paradise, who we had on a couple of weeks ago.
Josh, Drink with Josh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, check out his. He has a Facebook group
where he lives, Tahitian Gardens.
Is it? He drinks with Josh. He goes out and has drinks with all the businesses. So
so check that out for sure. Yeah. So it's a great spot to go. Get your breakfast, wander the shops. I don't know what time the shops open. 9?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, so eat a long breakfast.
That's right.
Or come for lunch and
then try the
£1
burger at
Cheeseburger.
Right?
Yeah, there's a £1 burger challenge.
And Paper Fig does some amazing food as well. Really good food.
Yeah. Have you ever had the £1 burger, Richard? Not that I'm saying anything about your physique.
All right, Max, what's the scores then?
Mom wins. So
wins.
Ring the bell. Yeah. Boring.
She knew she was going to win. She had the bell.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet she wins more than the rest of you.
Oh, yeah. You should see the slow-mo when we get to the glancing eyes looking over.
We've seen her wandering eyes looking over at other papers.
It was only because you helped me out, Richard. I appreciate that with that first answer.
All right.
Awesome.
Dad, close us out.
Well, thanks very much for coming in, Richard. Please make sure you go and check out the Sanibel Cafe. It's been an island staple for a long, long time. A lot of locals go there, so go and check it out. Go and say hi to Richard and the rest of the gang. And thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Let me just...
Thank you.
I feel like there's a lot more stories in there, so we're going to have to have you come on
next time.
Again.
Yes, exactly. Like the shells and the shell currency. But just a quick shout out to our supporters. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We like to support Captains for Clean Water, so please go and check them out. Bailey's General Store, Doc Ford's Rum Bar and Grille, Spoondrift Island Bowls, 3 Crafty Ladies, GatorBites Tailor Nail, Priscilla's of Sanibel, Coco Eagabana, Suncatchers Dream, and Sanibel Carts. So please check out those businesses and have a great one. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good one.